We are back, people. Another live stream featuring Boring. There's something a little bit different today. We was talking last night. We was like, you know what? Let's do Arsenal all-time underrated 11. Yeah, this is it. So, since you're the guest on the channel, I'm gonna let you do first pick. So we're just gonna do. I was thinking about formations and stuff, but just to keep it simple, keep it classic, we're gonna do flat 4-4-2.
Okay.
Obviously, it can be any era. It can be like pretty like before we were born, like Emirates era, Highbury, whatever. Just whatever player you decide to do that you think is overall. Oh, for crying out loud, City fans coming already and
This
trolling.
guy here.
Big up Logan, man. Big up Logan. How you doing, mate? How you doing?
Morning.
Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah,
Get this guy out of here.
So we'll start with goalkeeper. Again, you're the guest, so you can get you'll get first pick every time. So you can start.
Okay, fine. Right. All right. Well, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've been thinking about what an underrated under 11 could look like. I've actually gone for a 4-3-3 formation. So what I try to do is I try to stay away from like obvious people. I've gone more icons than legends, I think, but I've got a couple of legends in there as well. So my underrated number one, my goalkeeper, is going to be Szczesny. So the reason why I've gone Szczesny, he played 132 games in the league. He got 48 clean sheets, and he managed to achieve 2 FA Cups in the Community Shield. So I think in terms of, and he was our goalkeeper really when we were pretty rough. It was after the Invincibles season. New goalkeeper came in. Wojciech Szczesny was the guy. And in a time when Wenger was so obsessed with the attack and the defense was pretty rough, Szczesny had some really important games for us, and to come out with 2 FA Cups, I think is pretty decent. So my number one is going to be Mr. Wojciech Szczesny.
Fair. Well, the thing is, I thought about this as well, and I thought about putting Snezzy as well. But for me, my goalkeeper I'm going for underrated is actually going to be Bernd Leno.
Nice.
I think Bernd Leno I do think he's very underrated. I think in terms of his just shot stopping. I remember there was a game we played against Spurs and he done the triple save under Arteta. I think he was kind of done dirty, but ultimately we needed to upgrade on him and eventually get right anyway. So I do think he was probably as good as well, I don't know why the comments aren't coming up for me. This is really annoying. The comments aren't coming up, which is really annoying. Sorry, guys. I don't know why the comments aren't coming up. This whole platform's being dodgy today. I can see the comments, but they're not coming up on the actual. Anyway,
what if I? No.
Yeah. So, I just think he's underrated. Great shop stopper, loyal servant to the club, and he was during that era when we weren't very good. I just think he was very underrated. Obviously, kind of like my honorable mention probably would have been Schnezzy as well, but I'm going to go with Bernd Leno. So I'm going to go right back next.
Yeah, before we do, can I give an honourable mention as well?
Yeah, go on.
If I was going to put someone on the bench, Leno is a great shout. But by the way, there needs to be some flowers given to David Ospina. Do you remember him?
Oh, man. No.
Let me tell you this. Can I tell you something before you jump on me? I think I actually took a picture of this because it was, when I was researching, I thought it was hilarious, right? In terms of Premier League statistics, he has got the highest win percentage of any player with at least 10 appearances, with 91% win rate.
As if you've pulled that fucking stat at your ass, mate.
That's a real stat. Thing is, that's the one I knew about. But he won 11 of his first 12 Premier League matches for Arsenal. He played more than that, but he won the first 11, and he had like the best win rate of any player above 10, which I just thought was incredible. But yeah, no, Szczesny's my guy. For right back, I actually went with a Ukrainian named Luzhny. I think he was Ukrainian. Ole Luzhny.
What?
Do you remember Luzhny?
No.
You don't remember Luzhny? Right, so Luzhny was part of our 2001-2002 double winning squad, right? He had one Premier League and 2 FA Cups.
Yeah. So I do remember now. Yeah, I do remember now. Yeah. Sorry.
He won a Community Shield as well, and he played at least half of the games. But one of the things I loved about Luzhny was he had an incredible performance in the FA Cup final, which meant that we beat Southampton 1-0, and he was like one of the standout performers. So I just always felt like Ole Luzhny deserved a little bit better. So yeah, he's my right back.
Thanks. Fair enough. To be honest, this is going to probably surprise a lot of people, but right back, I'm actually going Laurent. Think he's severely underrated. Yeah, I think he was very underrated. I do think he's obviously given his flowers and stuff as being an Invincible, but I think it was a lot better than. I think there's a certain players in the Invincible squad that were a lot better than they were perceived to be. In my opinion, didn't get as much flowers as he deserved. And there's going to be another Invincible in this squad further up the pitch that I'm going to be waxing lyrical about and actually glazing. But yeah, Lauren for me, and then probably my honourable mention will probably be Abue, to be honest. I mean, not so much for his skill, just so much for his comedic effect and just like, just vibe and stuff like that. And his anytime the rare times he did score, his dances were Ivorian dances were top tier, mate. Top tier.
Yeah. I loved Abue. I'm surprised that people don't rate Lauren. I got to be honest. People talk dirt about Lauren. That's wild.
I don't think they talk dirt. I just think certain players just in the Arsenal, certain Arsenal players just don't get the flowers that they deserve. I see some players for Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United getting just absolutely glazed, and it's just a joke, really.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, I have got an Invincible in my team actually up the pitch as well, so it'd be interesting if we got the same one. Yes, Roy, that was incredible.
Congratulations to Arsenal women for stopping Spurs 5-2 yesterday in front of 46,000 at Emirates Stadium. First Bruce hat trick for Arsenal. Yeah, shout out to the ladies. I didn't catch the game. I was very, very, very busy yesterday. I literally was out until about 3 a.m. But yeah.
I watched it. She was incredible, mate. Honestly, the whole team was incredible. But Ruse just, oh my god, what a player. All right, okay. Shall I move on to centre backs?
CB.
All right, okay. So I've actually gone for Per Mertesacker as one of my centre backs.
Really?
Yes, I have. I think he's massively underrated. I play centre back. I used to spend a lot of time watching centre backs. He actually signed on deadline day alongside Mikel Arteta. He made 156 Premier League appearances for Arsenal, 3 FA Cups and 2 Community Shields. And if you remember, in his final game for Arsenal, I believe he hadn't played for about 3 months, and they chucked him in the FA Cup final, and it was an absolute masterclass. If I remember correctly, it was Chelsea as well, and they were in
that game with my uncle. Yeah, I remember watching that game.
And as a person who played defence and idolised central defenders specifically, I just thought Per Mertesacker was one of those players who was just so good and actually one of the calmest players on the pitch, which Arsenal were never that great at. And I just used to think, just what a player. And what he did in that final game for Arsenal to bring in another, I think he actually was in the team that made us the best FA Cup team in history as well. So I just think that, he deserves all of it.
Fair. It's funny actually, because I was thinking, man, what centre backs do we have to underrate? Because we've had some pretty piss poor centre backs, pretty piss poor ones. So I'm gonna go. My first pick is gonna be Thomas Vermaelen. I remember there was that season where he just kept on scoring goals. Like there was a season where I was like, bro, is this guy gonna play? We might as well play up front with Percy because this guy's banging goals from outside the box. I think that one season he got about 10 Premier League goals. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
I was always a big fan of him as well. Wasn't at all. He was about 5. I think he was about 5'11". Very, very good, aggressive centre back. And then I think he kind of got put out of the team by Koscielny, and he went to Barcelona. I think that was a real shame, man, because I think to be honest, Vermaelen was probably just as good as Koscielny and just as good as Per Mertesacker, in my opinion. Yeah. I think it's a shame that, but at the end of the day, listen, he ended his career with 2 Champions Leagues, so I can't really complain, But yeah, Thomas Vermaelen for me, very, very underrated centre back in my opinion. One of the best probably in my opinion, our 3rd best centre back in the Emirates era.
Do you know it's funny? I actually had him in first, and then I took him out. I had him in and put Mertesacker in. But yeah, so I think this one I've actually got an Invincible for my centre back, but he's an underrated Invincible. He played 18 games in the Premier League for us in our Invincible season, and his name is Pascal Sigon. Played 63 games for Arsenal. Big bald-headed guy, beautiful left foot. Premier League Invincible, made 18 appearances, and he had 2 Community Shields as well. So Pascal Seagun is my underrated. He just wasn't going to get in the team ahead of Toure and Sol Campbell, but let me tell you, that boy, he was decent. He was all right, Mr. Seagun. So yeah.
Okay, so for my second centre back, I'm going to go Per Mertesacker as well. Basically, the same kind of the similar reasons you mentioned. Obviously, one of the big talking points was that obviously he didn't have any pace, but I did think his reading of the game made up for his lack of pace. I know he had about 10 pace on FIFA, but honestly, he has the one trait that I can always respect in a player that isn't physically gifted: high game IQ, man, high game IQ. That's why you know me, I'm a very fickle about game IQ. I don't like bird brain players. I like players that are smart. So yeah, for me, for Marlon and Mertesacker are going to be my centre back pairing. I know it's coming next, but I think we're going to probably pick the same left back as well. To be honest,
I reckon we will. All right. Well, in which case then, my underrated left back is Mr. Nacho Monreal.
Yeah, mine as well, because there's really no one else to pick. There really is no one else to pick, really.
The only one that I was going to shithouse you a little bit and put Bukayo Saka there.
Hey, listen, that's legit. That's legit.
I know. Legit. He wasn't bad at left back, the boy, was he? But yeah, I mean, Nacho Monreal, 187 Premier League games for Arsenal, 187. Played more than Mertesacker, right? And he had 3 FA Cup to his name, a Community Shield, and you know, he was in the team when we were banter in the runs to the League Cup and the Europa League finals as well. So this boy was playing for us, and he was actually there were conversations where people were saying he's our best defender, he's one of our best players, and actually he was one of those players who just you couldn't not put him in the team. Like he had to play. And I remember, if I remember correctly, he played left centre back as well.
Yeah.
Like that boy did it all for us. Nacho Monreal is just the man. Loved him.
I mean, yeah, I'm going Monreal as well. I mean, for me, the reason why I'm going Monreal is just because I was actually, funny enough, and this isn't really to do with him being like underrated and stuff, but like I was watching his interview. There was an interview where he's talking about when he was going to sign for Arsenal, and he's talking about, said to his wife, like, look, we're moving to London. I signed for Arsenal. And he was just like, and she was like, are you going? And he was like, of course. I just love the enthusiasm, the passion, just his love for the club. You know, once a gunner, always a gunner. And the thing about Monreal is I can't really remember him having a particularly bad, terrible performance. Like he was very much a 7 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10 player, week in, week out. Very, very solid. Great service to the club. No media scandals or anything like that. I just think he was a solid player, man. I really loved him. I think he was a great player. Yeah.
He was another one that wasn't the biggest, but he just used his game. He used his game IQ to kind of get himself through the games. He was just a smart player, wasn't he?
Very much.
All right. Okay, I'm going to move into midfield. I'm going to get the controversial one out of the way first. All right. But my first midfield option is going to be Granit Xhaka. So Granit Xhaka is one of my favourite players of the Arsenal era. I know it's going to come with some stick. I know he messed up the captaincy. But for me, 225 Premier League appearances, 2 FA Cups. He was again part of the team, the banter team that we like to talk about, that got to the Europa League final under Emery. I think that he's actually the kind of leader that this Arsenal team misses. You know, and I think that him in the team, Martinelli was never the same after Xhaka left. Prime Martinelli, 23-24, who was in the team looking after him, is Granit Xhaka. So for me, Granit Xhaka is one of the most underrated players for me in the Emirates era, period. But I just always used to think, like, I genuinely think he got a hard done deal. I think managers kind of allowed him to become a scapegoat. The media loved making him a scapegoat. And for me, I don't think he was a bad captain. I think he was captain in a particularly bad time. And, you know, I think that was manifested by him taking off his shirt and his armband and all of that. Which is ridiculous, but he's a passionate man. Do you know why? Why he became such an icon for me? I remember when they were celebrating at Newcastle, I think, and Arteta was walking off with Ramsdale. and then you just see Granit Xhaka walk across the screen.
No, Arteta runs in it. That was actually, you know what? That wasn't against Newcastle. That was away at Spurs. It was away.
Oh, was it? That's right. You're right. Yeah, I remember.
Because you see Arteta do this, and you just see him go. I remember
So
that. That was
good.
funny, man.
So good. So for me, Granit Xhaka.
I think it was just after a fan kicked Ramsdale in the back of the head. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. My first pick is actually going to be Alexander Kleb. In terms of like he was just such a baller. I've never, maybe bar Santi Cazorla, I've never seen somebody so bow-footed in my entire life that played for Arsenal. Just the skills, the dribbling, wasn't that clinical in terms of his finishing. I mean, I just checked his stats: 89 appearances, 7 goals. So he wasn't hitting the back of the net that much, but he didn't need to. He didn't need to because, for example, if we had a prime Kleb now, I wouldn't worry about low blocks. Low blocks will worry about Kleb. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he don't worry about low blocks. Low blocks worry about him. He was that tidy, high technique, high game IQ. Didn't have pace, but just, some people, like, I'll give you an example. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar wasn't a fast striker, but he had amazing acceleration. So he used to just get away from defenders easily, and he used to always beat the offside trap. Just players that just can make the impossible possible and make it look. You'd look at it and you'd be like, "Oh, I can do that." That's how easy he made it look. He's like, "Oh, I can do that easily." But man, just absolute magic for me. Kleb is my first midfielder, man.
I actually had Hleb in the 10, and then I took him out for somebody else who I think is also underrated. But I did have Hleb in the 10 initially. So I'm going to do my other. I kind of guess I'm playing Xhaka in like a pivot, really. So my other midfielder, following Gilberto, following Vieira is horrible. And so for me, Matteo Flamini comes in as the partner to Granit Xhaka at the back. 168 performances for Arsenal. He had 3 FA Cups. He was in the team that lost to Barcelona in the Champions League final. For me, just match, and he came back. He came back and he helped the team when the team really needed someone with experience and quality in the middle of the park. And I remember a blinder he scored against Tottenham from the left and just blasted it. And it was just an incredible goal. And so for me, Matteo Flamini partnering Xhaka in the centre of midfield. What a force.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I had my other midfield and I just forgot. Oh, yeah, remember him now. So this player, in Van Persie's last season, this player was probably, outside of Van Persie, probably our best player. A great midfielder. Wasn't really sure what position he played when he first came to the club, but he just was a bit part, and then he settled himself and established himself as a first team player, especially in that last season with Persie. I'm going with Alex Song. Definitely think he was one of those players that was just a bit of an unsung hero. I remember some of that chip those crosses to Van Persie for all those volleys. The one against Everton, actually, I think 2 were against Everton. One was at home, and then there was one away against Liverpool where oh my god, sorry man.
Yeah, he was incredible.
Fun fact: Van Persie is actually one of my favorite Arsenal players of all time, despite being Van Pagan, Van Perstrings, and Van Prick. Still one of my favorite players of all time. Alex Song, heavily underrated. Obviously went to Barcelona as well. One of those Arsenal players that ended up going to Barcelona, winning the Champions League. I just think he's an amazing player, man. Big up Roy. Doku was on fire for Belgium yesterday as they win 5-2 away to America. He did not score a goal, but his overall play and forward force was immense. Would love to see him at Arsenal. Would you like Doku at Arsenal? That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. Personally, I think Doku is very, very hot and cold. I definitely think there's a player there, but he definitely needs to be developed a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, Doku is the end product for Doku, isn't it? I think sometimes it's like he's got the appearance, but it's the last bit that you really want him for. But yeah. Okay. Is that okay?
Do you want to do right midfielder and then left midfielder?
I'm doing a 4-3-3, so I might do my 10 next. Is that all right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I had Hleb. And Song was one of the players I looked at, to be fair. But I went Flamini in the end. For my number 10, I am going for Mr. Thomas Rosicky. 170 appearances for Arsenal in the league. He had one FA Cup and one Community Shield. But do you know what? Yeah, that guy could he could link up play. I can remember a goal he scored against Liverpool where he just sort of ran onto it and chipped it, and I have no idea how he managed to lob the goalkeeper from there. And then I remember the thunderclap he scored against Tottenham in the first minute of the game, and we won that game 1-0. And it was like,
I remember that game. He like kerfuffled off Oxlade-Chamberlain's heel, and then he just comes onto it and just goes, Rosicky!
And it was just, and I've never seen, and Rosicky wasn't that type of player. I've never seen Rosicky kick a ball hard. You know?
No. His first goal for Arsenal was a banger. You know, remember the one against Dortmund?
No.
From outside the box. He scores 2 bangers in a game. He gets a brace in his first game against his first Champions League game for Arsenal, and they were both from outside the box.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. But yeah, no, I mean, just Rosicky, I just love the way that he played. He was very injury prone, unfortunately, but he was just an incredible player. And do you know what? Some of my favourite times watching Arsenal was when he and Santi were playing together. Yeah, that was crazy, man.
Him, Santi, and Wilshere were just disgusting, to be honest.
It was.
Jack. How you doing, mate?
Nice. Yeah, so Rosicky for me.
Yeah, so my right midfielder is going to probably be controversial, but I'm going Theo Walcott, man. Sorry, I am a Theo Walcott fanboy. 100 goals for Arsenal. Scored that goal in the League Cup in 2008. We should have won that game. I don't know what Wenger was thinking fielding that dead team, man. But listen, he was the quick light skin wingers before light skin wingers of the 2000. For me, what a legend. Love him. Was never good enough to play striker, but just a good player, man. 100 goals for Arsenal. Had some great moments, had some bozo moments, but overall, I think one thing I will say, towards the end of his career, he definitely improved his finishing, and he definitely improved his IQ a little bit. But if Wenger developed him a bit earlier, he could have been an amazing player. But the problem is he wore that 14, tried to fill shoes that were way too big for him. That was never going to fill. Should have stayed as number 32, in my opinion. But yeah, Theo Walcott for me is going to be my right winger.
I actually put Theo Walcott on my left wing.
Okay.
Cutting in. And I always remember so I had him as my left forward. And I always remember one of my favourite Theo Walcott moments, bless him, he got injured. I think it was his ACL as well. But when he was coming off he was being stretchered off in front of the Spurs fans, and he had his 2-0 up.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, no, Theo Walcott, 270 games in the league for Arsenal, 2 FA Cups, 2 Community Shields as well. He's just never going to be on the same pedestal as other forwards that played for Arsenal, because they were better than him. But he was one of those players who, if you didn't give him time to think, he would punish you. If he had time to think, like Martinelli sometimes, I think, if he's got time to think, he's going to screw the ball up, because he couldn't deliver if he had time. If he was under pressure, he could get the ball in, he could take shots. He was so good, and he was so fast. And you know what? To be fair to him, he never really lost the pace, even despite some of those knee injuries. You know, so yeah, no, Theo Walcott was my left forward. Yeah. What you got left? We got 2 left.
Well, my left midfielder is in the background, mate. Is in the background. One of the 4 people have had their name at the back of my shirt. Arshavin, mate. Arshavin. I used to love Arshavin, bro. I used to love Arshavin. I used to love Arshavin. Those 4 goals at Anfield, that all forever. I remember even the commentary when he scored that 4th goal. Arshavin, 4! And he was just like...
And you doing this, really? Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So good. So good, man. Honestly, for me, I think Wenger ruined him a little bit, man. He got long hair, he got a bit fat, and he kind of just... And I remember he came on some... what's his name? That guy that I freaking hate. James Gordy. And he had a segment called Marvin versus Arshavin, where he had... what's it called? What's that? Anyway, and then Arshavin was doing like kick-ups, and he couldn't do a single kick-up. It was, oh my God.
Yeah, his fall-off was weird, wasn't it?
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
A weird fall-off. Yeah, it was weird.
It's horrible, man.
But he was incredible, because this is what I mean. Arsenal have always had quite dynamic and exciting mavericks up front, haven't they?
Yeah.
and that's why going forward we were always so good. But that's also why we were always so vulnerable at the back as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Arshavin was another player I looked at, but in the end, I went for a right forward. He was more of a right winger, really. But I really think that people misremember this person. And I don't think he gets the credit he does. He is an Arsenal legend, this one. This is probably the most legend of all of the players I've put in. He is the one of 4, if you can name the other 4, right? But he is one of 4 to win 3 Premier League titles, 4 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, 3 Community Shields, and a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. On the right, I'm going for Mr. Romford Pele Ray Parlour.
Fair enough.
I think he's massively underrated. People do not remember and do not.
No. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Fun fact, by the way, I don't really particularly like Ray Parlour, to be honest.
Okay. See, well, this is what why don't you? Did you not like his football or him?
Just him as a pundit, I think he's a bit of a knobhead. But
okay,
him as a player and him as a person, I think he's a legend. But as a pundit, I think he's a bit of a twat, to be honest.
I think he's misremembered because of the talk sport stuff, because of like the drinking stuff, the party, Ray Party Parlour and all that kind of stuff. I really do think he's misremembered. And, the goals he scored in the FA Cup final, it's only Ray Parlour. Like, it's not only Ray Parlour. This guy is so underrated. He is much better than he is given credit for. Ray Parlour, right forward for me.
Fair. So, obviously, I've done 4-4-2, so I've only got 2 strikers left. And this striker, if a certain injury didn't happen, we would have gotten to win the league in 07-08. Put some respect on his fucking name. Eduardo. Ed freaking Wardo, mate.
100%.
That guy was such that handsome little man. What a beautiful little man, mate. What a beautiful little man. Because find out now that guy was techie, game IQ, shooting, and he could one-on-one, you'd put your mortgage on it, son. One-on-one, you'd put your mortgage on it. Mate, I'd put anything on it. I put my braids on it. I put my hairline on it, bro. Anything, bro. He was just so good. And that disgusting prick broke his leg. That disgusting prick broke his leg. It's an absolute disgrace, man. It's an absolute disgrace. And the fact of the matter is, what could have been? What could have been? I used to love Eduardo, man. Eduardo, man. Him. There's a goal he scored against I want to say QPR in the I think it was in the FA Cup, and he's wearing the white kit, the 3rd kit, and he just hangs it from like the edge of the corner of the box. It's a weird angle, and it just goes top corner.
He was so good, man. I actually remember watching him. Shout out to the hairline. Mine's all the way back here, mate. Mine's retreating from the mainland. That's my problem.
Don't worry, Jack. When we get to 100k subscribers, we're going to be sending Rob straight to Turkey, fam.
I need all the help I can get, brother. Honestly, I actually watched Eduardo play post-injury, and it was one of his first games back. It was at the Emirates, and we were playing Chelsea, and we lost 3-1. I think, or it might even have been 3-0, and I think Drogba scored a hat-trick. And Eduardo, bless him, you could just see it gone. You could just see it had gone. And it was so shameful. But that is part of the history of the Arsenal Football Club, isn't it? Aaron Ramsey, Abu Diaby, I nearly put in, by the way. The only reason I didn't put him in was because I didn't want to go for too much for players who were affected by injury. I wanted to go by players who had played. But Abu Diaby, man, just, like Eduardo, just stolen of a career. Stolen of a huge career for me, Eduardo. What a player. I feel you all the way in that one. Yeah. I have to. So, all right. You ready for my 9?
Yeah, I am ready for your 9.
I think there's a small chance we might have the same 9 here. This guy played. He doesn't get the same flowers because he was in teams with Bergkamp. He was in teams with Henry. He was in teams with Kanu. Mr. Sylvan Wiltord, take a bow.
It's got to be. Shout out to the 02 season, man. Mr. Clutch, Clutchington still, bro.
2 Premier Leagues, 1 FA Cup. He turned the theatre of dreams into the theatre of nightmares, and we took the Premier League title at Old Trafford. Thank you, Will Todd, for your service to this football club.
Oh,
What
man. Oh, what a! And this is what I'm saying, man. Think about the quality of players. Our backups Our backups were quality. Our
we had
backups were
5 strikers.
but 4 quality strikers, mate.
I
4
know.
quality strikers.
And Francis Jeffers, I think, was in there somewhere as well.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, so obviously my last striker as well, Sylvain Wiltord, the absolute legend, one of my favourite players. I said it the other day on Shane's stream, said it on my stream the other day. In my opinion, the most underrated Arsenal player of all time. I watched the entire 02 season the other day on YouTube. It was like 2 hours long, and my God, some of his goals, FA Cup, Premier League, absolute baller, mate. Absolute freaking baller. Absolute baller. And I think should have got more flowers, should have got more kudos, because what a player, man. What a player. And that's my start. That's my 11, man. That's my 11.
Yeah. I think, do you know what? They are both decent 11s, aren't they?
Yeah. Chris said, "Do you want to do an overrated 11?" But I don't really think there's enough players to do an overrated 11, in my opinion.
Do you know what would be good though? A gone too soon 11, or like an injury 11. Do you know what I mean? Where you can put in your Diabys, where you can put in, the Ramseys, people who never got Eduardo's, like that kind of thing. Yeah. That kind of like group, Hector Bellerin, players who just didn't have the careers they deserved because they were battered for it instead.
Yeah. All right, I think we can do that. Big up, Jack. We had some serious legendary French from Arsenal. Yeah, at one point, our whole squad is basically the French national team. To be honest,
It's true. It's true.
All right, I'm going to go with flat 4-4-2 again. Then, so in goal.
We're doing that now. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do it now, or do you want to do another?
Yeah, let's do it now. Yeah, okay. I'll have to think.
We can breeze through it quick then. In goal, I'm going to go Martinez. I think he won 2 FA Cups with us, never really pushed into the team, was at Arsenal for 10 years. Obviously ends up going to Aston Villa, winning the World Cup with Argentina. Just never really thought I think he could have been great for us, I mean, I'd love to have had him, Obviously, I'm happy with Ryan now, but I've always said that I'd love Ryan even more if he was like 6'5", but then he'd lose that agility as well. So you kind of, take one for the thing. And I think, in another timeline, he got to have a very, very successful career at Arsenal, but just that's not how it works out sometimes.
Which one are we doing? Overrated or gone too soon? Sorry.
Yeah, gone too soon. Yeah,
gone too soon. Right. Okay, gone too soon. So you've got that. All right. At right back, I think I will go. I am going to go with Hector Bellerin. I think that based on the injury for me, so we'll go injuries and gone too soon. I just think based on that injury, when he came back and he was just a shadow of himself, but when he came in and replaced Debussy at right back, because Debussy was another one stolen before his time, by the way. Picked up that horrible injury, and then we had to start playing a 17-year-old Hector Bellerin, which was maybe a blessing in disguise. But again, another one that had the horrific injuries that kind of stole us from him. I can still remember him grabbing his knee and rolling backwards on the pitch, screaming. I can still see it, Gutted I was, because you just knew it. He was holding his knee and you're like, I know exactly what that is. Go Martinez and I'll go Bellerin at right back.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the Bellerin one. If he didn't, he was rapid as well. Rapid, bro. Centre backs. This is where it gets a bit difficult actually, because there's no one I think that went too. I think only Vermaelen.
I would have said Vermaelen. I would have said Vermaelen.
I would have said only Vermaelen. I don't really think there's another centre back I can think of that went too soon. I'm not going to say Mustafi. I'm not going to say Johan Juru. I'm not going to say Scalacci. I'm not going to say Mertesacker. I'm not going to say. It's not really anyone else I can think of, really. Maybe you could probably argue Mavropanos, maybe, potentially. But even still, I'm probably going to go Mavropanos because there's not really anyone else that fits the criteria, to be honest.
No, I can't think of anyone either. So, yeah, I would agree with you. I'd go, go then the same. Vermaelen, Mavropanos. I'm trying to think if we had any like random one-hit wonders at the back that was just not there very long. I'm trying to go back as far as the 90s here, but I just haven't got anyone. But yeah, so I think I'll agree with you on that. Can I go left back?
Absolutely.
The obvious one is we should never have let Ashley Cole leave that club and we should have paid him the money.
Yeah, the other one. That is the one.
We should have paid him 60 grand a week. We should have given him 100.
Yeah, 100% agree. Honorable mentions, Kieran Thiele, by the way. I think it was a mistake letting him go, to be honest. When you think about just a player that could just get to the byline, just whip. His crosses were unbelievable, man. His crosses were the whippage that you'd get on his crosses. It was like, honestly, just unreal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move into midfield. I don't know if you want to do a different formation. I'm just going to do a flat 4-4-2. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Actually, no. Actually, I'm going to do a 4-3-3. Actually, because doing a flat 4-4-2 is too hard. Actually, so I'll do. So
by the way, Tommy Yasu's a shout as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Tommy Yasu's.
Oh, what a shout!
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to put Roy's thing. We got Roy. Tommy Yasu plays for Japan against England on Tuesday night. Japan won 1-0 at Hampden Park against Scotland on Friday night. Yeah, it's funny actually. There's a guy I know who's my friend Hideki. Shout out to Hideki. He's Japanese, and he was like saying, Tommy is, he's highly rated in Japan, especially because he played for Arsenal and stuff like that. Him and Toma are very much held up as like Japanese gems. So yeah, man. Shout out to Tommy Yasu, man. It's a real shame because he was a very, very, very unique profile. 6'2", quite fast, can play left back, right back, and centre back. What a player, man. So underrated. Yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah, what a shame. Do you know the ironic thing is that he's playing with Zinchenko now?
Yeah, I know. Ajax.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if he does get injured, they can hold the medical room together because I think Zinchenko's out for the remainder of the year by the looks of the knee injury that he picked up, which is wild. But yeah, all right.
So at the base of my midfield, I'm going Patrick Vieira regen. I'm going Abu Dhabi.
It's got to be Diaby.
It's got to be. There's no one else it can be, man. He's just should have been Patrick Vieira version 2, man, but just never worked out. Unfortunately.
He was just one of the most incredible players. I can remember watching him going, how the hell has this happened? Like, we basically replaced Vieira with Vieira. And that might seem like I'm just heaping praise for Clap. I genuinely am not. Like, this guy was like 19, 20 and was just doing bits. I can remember when he scored John Terry, and I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Just an incredible player. Gutted for him. What a shortcoming career because of that injury.
So as my 8, this one's a bit of a tricky one actually. Trying to think.
I do think that we never saw prime Ramsey after the injury. I know that he's hung around longer.
Yeah,
he was around, but what Ramsey could have been. And what he was, I still think he was a good player for Arsenal, but he would have been so much better. I mean, that injury was bad. Like, we're talking like 2 different directions of the leg bad, that break, wasn't it? I do think Ramsey could move in with a shout.
It's got to be Ramsey as well. I agree. It's got to be Ramsey. And then 10?
I think Santi Cazorla had a lot of injuries that prevented him playing in the last couple of years of his contract, which was a shame. I mean, he did bits in the FA Cup final. I think Santi is in with a shout. I think maybe in terms of what could have been. He had lots of injuries, kept picking up injuries, never seemed to get back in the team. Especially in the last couple of years, I think he got to come on for a swan song, but it wasn't like he got to do much. So yeah, I mean, I'd perhaps chuck in Santi as a shout. As someone who didn't get to fulfill all of the goals of the club.
That's fair. And then the front 3 on the right.
All right, going forward. Wait, where did Nasri play?
He could play in the 10 on the left.
Oh, okay. Well, I would definitely put Nasri in the team. I know he's a Judas, but that last season before he left, some of those goals, man.
Yeah, especially the one against Man United against Van der Sar. I think about that one from time to time.
What's the one where he managed to take it off the line and put it around the post to get it back in the line? Was that against Tottenham? It was like, was it Fulham?
Fulham, yeah.
Oh man, what a goal that was!
Yeah, and there's another one where he scores from like a crazy. He dribbles around about 3 players and he bangs it against both posts and it goes in against Port in the Champions League. That one, bro, he was such a talent, man. Such a talent. Out of all the players that have like kind of snaked Arsenal, I think his one affected me second most. Second most. That one affected me. But behind Van Persie, that one affected me the most.
Yeah, Van Persie was horrible. That one was horrible.
Yeah.
On the right. Right midfielders played for Arsenal. Overmars was on the left. I never feel like he stayed around long enough. But Overmars was a left midfielder, really. Right midfielders played. Paul Merson never fulfilled his potential, I don't think. I think that the alcohol, the drinking and all that type of stuff severely affected what he's been. All of that. But Paul Merson was a wonderful footballer, and he's another one where you think, if he'd stayed fit longer, if he was able to keep going longer, because in the end, Wenger was just kind of like, it's a negative influence, mate. You can't,
Yeah.
So Paul Merson might be in with a shout, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ones on the right that we've seen over time. Oh no, Nicolas Pepe, mate. Pepe. I love that man. He was so good. Arsenal fans I don't know why
Arsenal fans hate Pepe so much, man. It's weird. It's actually weird.
Do you know what? He's on my subs bench for the underrated 11.
Yeah, like for me, I love Pepe, man. I thought he was a quality player.
People were ridiculous. No, Ray Parlour. We had Ray Parlour in the underrated.
Ray Parlour, yeah. Big up to you, Chris. Ray Parlour, yeah.
Yeah, I had him in my underrated 11. He was around for enough time. I think he signed in 1990 and he left after, was it 97? So he was at the club for 7 years. Yeah. And he won. No, wait, hang on. No, he was there for ages. Sorry, he was there until the Invincibles, because he won all 3 Premier League titles. I'm thinking of Merson, I think. But Ray Parlour made the underrated 11. But I think that maybe Merson or a Pepe could be a gone-to soon group. Up front, we're both agreeing on Eduardo.
Yeah, has to be. I can't think of anyone else. I wouldn't put Bentner. I wouldn't put Percy. I wouldn't put Aubameyang.
You wouldn't have Julio Baptista.
I mean, I don't think I would.
No, I don't think I would. He did do bits against Liverpool, though. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was
it's got to be Eduardo. It can't be anyone else.
It has got to be Eduardo. It says him. He was a great player.
You got Jack. Paul Merson is a strength and conditioning coach with the discipline. He would have been great. Yeah, man. It's unfortunate. It's just one of those things, man. It's unfortunate.
He needed mentoring and intervention so much earlier than he did. I'm so glad that he's managed to get himself straight and everything else. But can you imagine if he'd had that support in the 90s? He was so good. He really was. It's just such a shame, really, that even though he was successful, like this, not you can't knock his success, but he could have played longer. Like he was as good as the Parlours and the Paul Davises. He was as good as those guys. He had addiction issues, didn't he? So, and he couldn't come through it like Adams did. So,
all right. Well, that's our team, guys. Both of our 11s. Those who should have been, who didn't, and our underrated 11. Let us know what you think. Boring, do you want to shout yourself out and wrap things up, and then we'll end the stream?
Well, you're so good at imitating me now, mate. Yes. No, guys. It'd be good to have you come along. If you could please like and subscribe, that would be amazing, and we can chat it out on the streams. I do. That would be lovely.
I need to get back to streaming regularly because my numbers have been really, really poor recently. So I'm going to try and get back to streaming daily again. Had some stuff going on in my personal life, but should be sorted by next week. So daily streams, and I'm not really sure whether it's going to be in the morning or the evening, but probably going to have to go back to being in the evening again because of work and stuff like that. So I still need to do the classic kit stream with Kurdish and Rob. If you're feel free to come through, I'm going to be doing ranking the top 100 classic kits of all time. So it's going to be a long stream. It's probably going to be like 2-3 hours. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of research for that one. I know that Nintendo Fiorentina one's definitely going to be in there, and that triple X Atletico Madrid one's going to be in there as well. And obviously loads of Arsenal ones like Sega, Dreamcast, all them ones, because those ones are just cold, man. But yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to my friend Boring. at BoringAFC. I'm going to change the title and put his tag in there, and it will be in the description as well. Like, subscribe, share, people. Peace.